What's up, guys? KAMIKAZE-FOX coming to you from IRL International Racing League F1 2019 on the PS4 platform. This is Season 2 of F2, Round 18, as we head into Sochi, Russia. And waiting for just a couple other drivers to join up, but let's run down our driver lineup, what we have so far. Luis W34 in the Racing Point, that is Luis Wassman. He is followed by championship points contender Jared Fosbury, who is Nexus Cologne. Nessus Aspect is also going to be your championship points leader. That is Kevin Harrison. In the factory Renault is TNR Steph. That is Steph Christensen. Flying Cooper is the infamous Harry Cooper, coming off of a massive crash at Baku last week. TSR Fishy is Shay Fox. He'll be in the Red Bull Racing Machine. And Nexus Iceman, he's going to be in the other Alfa Romeo. That is Jack Yates. He's also a championship points contender. Meme 4617 in the Haas is Sean O'Sullivan. And Chipsman Crunchy is James Yack. He'll be in the other Racing Point. EFL _F1 is Eric Pettington in the factory Renault, having an incredible season as a part-time driver. Reza Varuz is Wei Liu in the Williams. Mumford plays in the Red Bull is going to be Thomas Mumford. And so far that rounds out the 12 drivers that will be attending today's Grand Prix. Got a couple of guys chiming in on the live chat. We got Brandon Glover, Thomas Mumford himself, Luke Baker. And it looks like we've got Jeremy Pope as well. Jeremy's going to be running in F3. Luke Baker is F1, as is Brandon Glover. And Mumford plays. That's obviously Thomas Mumford. He'll be participating in the F2 race today. We're heading into round 18. Coming off of an incredible race of attrition at round 17, Baku, Azerbaijan, last week, where Eric Pettington came away with the win. It was his 5th win of the season. He did it from pole. It was his 4th pole from the season. Shay Fox came home 2nd. That's back-to-back podium finishes for Shay Fox, and Jared Fosbury garnered a much-needed 3rd place finish to help try and take a bite out of the championship points lead of Kevin Harrison. Luis Wassman stringing together a bunch of good runs here lately. Has put himself in 4th place last week. Steph Christensen came home 5th. James Hallworth he finished 7th, but due to time penalties after the fact, Kevin Harrison was dropped from 6th to 7th, so James Hallworth will finish in 6th. Kevin Harrison was 7th. Wei Liu is 8th. Felix Negwer came home 9th, and Sean O'Sullivan was 10th. Those are your top 10 points-paying positions last week at Baku. 11th through 15th was all DNFs. It was Reese March it was his IRL F2 debut. He also came in with a DNF, unfortunately. James Yack with his 5th DNF of the season. Thomas Mumford, new to the league, hasn't been able to string together some good finishes here. He's been struggling as of late. He had a 2nd DNF to his credit, and Paco Suarez was involved in a massive accident with Harry Cooper. It was Paco's 10th DNF of the season. It was Harry Cooper's 6th DNF of the season, and because of that incident, Harry Cooper finds himself with a 25-second time penalty assessed to his finishing time today. And I think that is on the basis if he even finishes the race. I would need some clarification on that. But the point standings did get jumbled up a little bit. Jared Fosbury and Jack Yates were both tied for 2nd at 193 points. Now, Kevin Harrison retains the point lead. He's got 240 points to his credit. Jared Fosbury was able to take a little bite out of that, finishing in 3rd. 208 points to Jared Fosbury's credit. Jack Yates missed last week's race. He's got 193, but he's actually under threat from Eric Pettington, who's a part-time driver. But Pettington's got 5 wins to his credit this year. He's currently 4th in points with 145. After that, there's a huge spread in the points beyond that, but props to Luis Wassman, who's been able to string together 3 really good finishes in a row. He's moved himself into 5th in points with 86. He's got 6 points over Harry Cooper, who has 8. Jorge Correa is classified I'm sorry, I've lost count here. Jorge Correa is classified 7th, but unfortunately, Jorge Correa has been MIA for a number of weeks now. He's got 78 points to his credit. And then beyond that, you have Daniel Tannenberg, who has 71 points. He has been banned from the season. That was due to an incident back at Suzuka. And then behind that, you have Adrian Storm, who has 68 points. He retired early in the season after Monaco. He's 68 points to his credit. And then Matthew Collins has 50 points to his credit. He only participated in 3 F2 races. Won 2 of them, got advanced to F1. He's got 50 points to his credit. So 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th have all been MIA. We've got a lot of guys chiming in on the live chat. Shay Fox looking for another second place finish. Jared Fosbury says he's struggling. Hope he doesn't crash like Sondre Sorhaug. And yes, Cooper, Can Vilhoen has a 25... Yes, Can Vilhoen is asking Cooper has a 25-second time penalty. Yes, from the last race. Him and Paco Suarez came together with a massive accident. Declared Cooper's fault, so a 25-second time penalty will be assessed to his total race time at the end of this race, based on the fact that he will finish the race. So 12 drivers for today's round 18. The season is winding down relatively quick. 3 rounds after today, we're going to be heading to Hungary. Next week after that, it will be Germany, and then we will finish off the season February 23rd at Brazil. But right now, it's all about round 17. We finally got some guys heading out on their outlap. We've got the heavy hitters. Eric Pettington already out on his outlap. He's got 4 pole positions to his credit this year, 5 wins, 1 podium, 1 DNF. He's only a part-time driver. And, you know, technically, mathematically speaking, he's not out of the championship points battle. I mean, he might be after today, but if he won the remaining 4 races, while everybody else, including Kevin Harrison, if Kevin Harrison didn't score any points in the next 4 races, and Eric Pettington won the next 4 races, and begging on the fact that Jared Fosbury and Jack Yates both have poor results, Eric Pettington could walk away with a championship. It's unlikely, but mathematically he's still in contention. I think the interesting point there, though, is he's got 145 points to Jack Yates' 193. That's not even a 40-point swing, so 38 points, that's 2 races. And Eric Pettington, there was talk of him being in the booth with me today. He does do part-time commentating for another league. But I think we'd much rather have him on track. The car count has been about an average of 12 cars per race. We'd much rather have him on track. It certainly does make things a little bit more interesting, especially at a track like Sochi, where realistically in real life, Sochi is not a very interesting track. But we are watching Eric Pettington start his first hot lap. We'll put up some lap data for everybody. So he heads out of the big sweeping left-hander of turn 3 and then goes out into turn 4. Good line going through there. And again, Sochi, much like most modern-day tracks, very narrow, a lot of tight corners, a lot of 90 degrees, a couple of straightaways. It's all very cookie-cutter in Formula One anymore. Pettington's out on the soft tires. Looks like one of the Racing Points getting out of the way. Looks like that might be Harry Cooper behind him. Very awkward dog leg back straightaway. Very tight right-left section here. Then you come out, short little shoot down to the penultimate corner. Now, Thomas Mumford has set the first time of the day with a 134.149. Oh, Pettington goes very wide. Oh, and he's hard into the wall. Lucky for him, that did not destroy the car, but he does set a time of 139.83. And I'm surprised his time was not validated. You see, Wade Luce at the time of 134.1. Jared Fosbury 132.251. Shay Fox 133. So a 139.83. He's 2.2 seconds faster than Jared Fosbury. We'll keep an eye on that time. Pick up Kevin Harrison. He's currently on an outlap. Harrison, your points leader, struggled last week, unfortunately. But with 8 podium finishes this year to his credit and a lot of good wet weather finishes, he's been able to put together the points lead. Jared Fosbury has had a string of bad luck. I think he may have finally snapped it last week, coming home third. Jack Yates goes 131.423. You got Can Vilhoen cheering on Luis Wassman and James Hallworth. But I don't think James is here today, is he? So here goes Kevin Harrison. He's going to start his first hot lap. 12 minutes left to play in the session. Right along with him down this dog leg front stretch. Yellow flags flying in sectors 2 and 3. Looks like he's still trying to put some heat into the tires. Big sweeping left-hander here. Down into turn 4, very nice and tidy. Yellow flag, sector 1. You got a little bit of cloud cover in the background here. Not sure if weather will be a factor today or not. Riding along with Kevin Harrison on his first hot lap. Out on the medium tires. Fastest lap was credited to Eric Pettington, 1:39.83. Did it with a massive crash and on softs. So luckily it did not destroy the car. And Harry Cooper has retired from the session. Not sure if that was on purpose or if he's headed off somewhere. And I don't think Harrison is at full song. Looks like he's going to dive back into the pits, and Harry Cooper has left the session completely. Now, it is to my understanding from a new rule that was put into place last week, now that Harry Cooper has left the session, he will not be allowed to rejoin this race per IRL sanctions. We'll pick up Steph Christensen. Looks like he's heading into the pits. A lot of guys on outlaps. Got Jared Fosbury on an outlap. Eric Pettington currently on an outlap. Jack Yates on an outlap. Shay Fox, good enough for 5th so far. Wei Liu, Thomas Mumford, Sean O'Sullivan, all on outlaps. Nobody's on a timed lap right this second. Looks like Aaron Pettington's going to be the first one across the start-finish line to start a hot lap. So with Harry Cooper out of the race, that leaves us with 11 drivers, and he will still have to serve that 25-second time penalty at the next race that he attends. It will not go away. Pettington looks like he's got that factory Renault really hooked up. Despite his bottle at the end of his first hot lap, looks like he got on the power too soon. He caught the curbing with the rear end and spun the car around. Can he improve on his time? And he's going to run very wide, and he will not improve his time. So it looks like Eric Pettington struggled with that last corner. It is a bit tight. And the timing line is right there as you come out of that corner. Pick up Jack Yates. Currently second with a 1:31.424. 7:30 left to play in the session. See the Red Bull there getting out of the way. Letting Jack Yates through. Jack Yates on the soft tires as well. And he is going to dive into the pits. We'll pick up Jared Fosbury. Fosbury coming down to turn 4 right now. Looks like he just started this hot lap. Now, Jared Fosbury is your defending F2 champion. He doesn't have to worry about trying to beat Eric Pettington. He just needs to try and worry about beating Kevin Harrison. Harrison currently has not set a time. He's in Sector 2 on these soft tires. He looks like he's on a hot lap right now. Penultimate corner for Kevin Harrison. Looks like he's going to come across the line to start his first, well, to get his first timed lap in. Good enough for 5th, 132.143. And Sean O'Sullivan, in the midst of that, has been able to go 3rd quickest with a 132.047. So good for O'Sullivan. That drops Jared Fosbury to 4th on the charts. And I am getting some clarification from Fosbury. It says Cooper can rejoin the race. So I may have misread the rule from last week that was put out by the admins. That maybe if you leave during the actual race itself and rejoin, then you will have to retire the car. Yeah, it doesn't look like Steph Christensen's on much of a time lapse through the sweeping left-hander, turn 3. Coming out of turn 4, smooth throttle transition. Christensen had a great mid-pack battle last week at Baku, a hard-fought 5th place finish. Him and James Hallworth went back and forth for position quite a number of times. Late in the race, Hallworth got called out with some wing damage. Luckily, he was able to get 6th spot because of Kevin Harrison's incident. But great battle last week between him and James Hallworth. Hard-fought, well-deserved top 5 finish for Steph Christensen. See if he can do it again today. And yes, Fosbury has clarified that for me. Yes, it is in the race. If you disconnect in the race and leave, you cannot rejoin, or you are set to rejoin and retire the car. Everybody in the pits now. You've got one guy on an out lap. That's Luis Wassman. He's, at this point, the only driver to yet set a time since Harry Cooper is gone. So Luis Wassman has had a really good run here the last few races, moved himself in the top 5 in points. So there is a little bit of points battle between him and Harry Cooper, but since Cooper is currently out and it doesn't look like he will return, Wassman can really use this race to capitalize on that, solidify that 5th place spot in the point standings. He struggled most of this year, but the last few races been able to put together some good finishes. Was fighting for wins and podiums the last few rounds. Still had some bad luck, but he's been able to put together some top 5 finishes, get some good points on the board. He's going to come around, start his first hot lap of the session. 2:46 left to play, and it's about to get very busy. Got a lot of guys in pit road, and got 3 cars coming out on an out lap now. Luis Wassman. Great livery on that helmet, too, by the way. That gold and red stands out. And Racing Point, obviously news this week in Real F1, Lawrence Stroll striking a deal with Aston Martin. So Racing Point will now be Aston Martin Racing, but it will be a naming rights. It's not for actual manufacturer. Aston Martin will not be in as a manufacturer, at least not in the 2020 season. Perhaps moving forward they will be. Of course, that's what the rumor mill is churning, but as of right now, it will be Aston Martin Racing for next season. Not sure if it's going to change the color scheme. BWT should still be the primary sponsor, and I think it is in the BWT contract. If it is the primary sponsor, then the cars will still, unfortunately, be pink. So no British Racing Green on the F1 grid anytime soon, unfortunately, as Wassman comes around. He did go wide at the one corner. I'm not sure if that'll invalidate his time or not. Penultimate corner coming around to the last one here. Very tight. Comes across. And unfortunately, that is good enough for only third, a 1:31.903. That's a good qualifying effort, and he's got enough time to go around and do another lap. Meanwhile, Eric Pettington is on an out lap, followed by Jack Yates. Actually, looks like that might have been Kevin Harrison. Pick up Jared Fosbury. Fosbury is in Sector 2, 7/1000ths of a second up on his previous time. He's going to have to find more speed than that. .30 seconds left to play. A lot of guys on out laps. They'll be starting their final hot lap, last-ditch effort. A little squirrely there under braking there for Fosbury as he heads to a dog leg left-hander. That's where Carlos Sanz had his massive crash a few years ago. Luis Wassman is retired from the session, so he'll be locked in at a 1:31.903. Good enough for third right now, but I got a feeling that's going to push him down mid-pack. Yellow flag flies in Sector 2. Wassman pulling off. Time is up, so hot laps will count. Jared Fosbury comes across and does improve his time, but not his position. He's only good enough for fifth. Shay Fox has just gone 1:31.534. He's good enough for third, but that puts him 1:31.53. That puts him third, but he is done for the session. We have Jack Yates. Does he have anything for Eric Pettington? And Eric Pettington's the only driver right now in the 130s. Try and see where some of these guys are. Oh, the big moment there for Yates. He's really pushing that car. Back end almost came around him, on him. And he comes across, and he's not able to improve his position. He does improve his time. We'll pick up Kevin Harrison. He's coming out of the last corner now. Kevin Harrison's going to, again, improve his time, but not his position. Steph Christensen just came across the line, 1:31.734. That is good enough for fourth. And Sean O'Sullivan has dived into the pits, so Eric Pettington there we go. A little bit of a glitch there. But Eric Pettington coming home with his fifth pole position of the year. So here's going to be your starting order. This is Eric Pettington in the factory no, followed by Jack Yates, who is followed by Shay Fox, Steph Christensen. Luis Wassman will be starting fifth. Jared Fosbury will be in sixth. Sean O'Sullivan seventh. Kevin Harrison will be eighth. James Yock in ninth. Thomas Mumford in 10th. And Wade Liu is going to be 11th. And Harry Cooper did not set a time. And from what I can tell, he left the session and has not rejoined. So I'm not sure what that will do to his car. And Wei Liu is the only driver to set his time on the mediums. So tire strategy going to be interesting to watch here. Shay Fox seems to be happy on the live chat with his third place finish in qualifying. So we'll wait for the grid to reset here. We'll do a formation lap, and then we'll be doing a 50% race here at Sochi. This is round 18, F1 2019 on the PS4 platform. This is the International Racing League IRL. This is the F2 series. F1 raced yesterday, and F3 is currently racing at the same time as F2. But be sure to like, subscribe, and comment to the YouTube channel. Check out all the other races through all three series. It's all very interesting. Lots of good points battles. A lot of tight competition between the three series. And they're all based on essentially how fast the drivers are. Eric Pettington, one of the few that has F1 speed that is currently in F2. Unfortunately, he's a part-time driver. He's not able to make the F1 races, so they put him in F2. But so far, Eric Pettington, even though he's part-time, good enough for fourth in the points so far. 145 points to his credit. 5 wins on the year. 6 podiums, 1 DNF. And here we go. So Eric Pettington going to be starting from pole position. It'll be his 5th pole of the season. He'll be looking to go back-to-back on wins. But he's going to be chased by Jack Yates, championship points contender. Yates currently 3rd in points. Looking for a good finish today and try and leapfrog his championship points contender, Jared Fosbury. Shay Fox coming off of back-to-back podium finishes. He'll be looking to do it again for a 3rd time in a row. He's got a great starting spot in 3rd. Steph Christensen's coming off of a hard-fought 5th place finish at Baku last week. He'll be looking to try and improve upon that today as he starts in the 4th spot to put some good points on the board for the Factory Renault team. But he's going to have Luis Wassman behind him. Wassman has put a string of good runs together here lately. He's been able to catapult himself into 5th in points. And he'll be looking to try and solidify that today, as Harry Cooper will not be racing. Cooper only 6 points behind him in the point standings. Then you have Nexus clone, this is Jared Fosbury. He is 2nd in the point standings with 208 to his credit. He is your defending F2 Series champion, coming off of a podium finish last week. He'll be looking to try and do it again here on the streets of Sochi. Sean O'Sullivan will be in the Haas. O'Sullivan coming off of a 10th place finish. He's going to want to improve upon that this week. Starting in 7th, see if he can put some points on the board for the Haas team. And Kevin Harrison, your championship points leader, 240 points to his credit. Going to be starting deep in the field, but that's nothing new for him. Harrison often qualifies poorly and finishes greatly. He'll be looking to do that again and see if he can get in front of Jared Fosbury, do some damage control, and not let Jared Fosbury take a bite out of that championship point standings. James Yock is going to be starting in 9th. He'll be looking to put some points on the board today, which shouldn't be too hard since there's only going to be 11 drivers on the grid. Thomas Mumford's in the Red Bull. He's got a couple of DNFs so far this year. He'll be looking to just finish a race, and hopefully he can put some points on the board while doing it. And Wei Liu is going to be in the Williams, starting in the 11th spot. He'll be looking to put points on the board. He's the only driver to be starting on the medium, so he'll be running a very long first stint. I should say he'll be running a longer first stint than some of these other drivers. And we're going to wait for the grid to reset. 27 laps here today at Sochi Autodrome. This is round 18, IRL F2. We'll wait for the grid to reset here. There we go. We wait on the 5 red lights. Lights are out. Time to run what you brung their way in a puff of smoke. And a good start by Shay Fox on the outside of Jack Yates. And it's a drag race down in the first corner. Yates looks like he's going to try and make a move. Eric Pettington not able to skip away as I thought he would. And there's a shuffle going on in the back, that's for sure. That's O'Sullivan and Fosbury. And a little bit of argy-bargy in the background here. And look at this to the inside. That's going to be Kevin Harrison on Thomas Mumford. No, and O'Sullivan's trying to dive out and take a spot. Looks like he just got under James Yock as they come around the sweeping right-hander. And they all run very wide coming out of that corner. Meanwhile, Eric Pettington is able to skip away to the tune of 0.7 of a second. Here comes Kevin Harrison on the outside of James Yock. There's a little bit of contact there, but he's able to take the position and moves him back into 8th. Meanwhile, Shay Fox is closed in on the back of Jack Yates, and Eric Pettington is already a second gap ahead of second place. See the cars come sweeping through the field there. The quick right-left exchange, left-right exchange. And Eric Pettington with a second lead over Jack Yates, who's being pursued by Shay Fox. We hop on board with Fox right now as they head down the dogleg front stretch hard into the braking zone. Ooh, he almost outbroke himself a little bit there. Went a little bit wide, gave up a couple of car lengths. Steph Christensen getting a little close there to Shay Fox. Meanwhile, Kevin Harrison, he looked like he was trying to make a move heading into that corner, but couldn't get around Sean O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan runs very wide coming out of there. James Yock does the same thing. Meanwhile, the battle for third continues. Second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. They're all relatively close to each other. Meanwhile, Eric Pettington's pulled out 1.5 seconds. So they'll be starting lap 3. Lap 3 should get a little bit more interesting now with the DRS will be enabled. The sun is out, no signs of rain in the area. With the DRS slot open, you'll be able to get that DRS advantage. It should close some of this battling up. I'm going to jump back to the battle for 9th because here comes Thomas Mumford looking to try and get his way around James Yock for the 9th spot. He's got Wei Lu right behind him as well, so it's a 3-car battle for the 9th spot. You see the flash there on the bottom of the screen. DRS is enabled. And it looks like Kevin Harrison and Sean O'Sullivan. Oh, and here goes Thomas Mumford. Ooh, and they make a little bit of contact. But Mumford's able to make it stick. So he's got the position for now. Meanwhile, O'Sullivan has lost the spot to Kevin Harrison, but he's looking to try and snatch it back if he can. Oh, and a 3-second time penalty now has popped up for Thomas Mumford. Ooh, and O'Sullivan goes very wide coming out of that corner. It looks like he's getting a little bit of aero wash off the back end of Kevin Harrison's Sauber. I'm sorry, Alfa Romeo. Sauber's no longer a thing. And getting word from Matthew Alder on the live chat that he believes that Harry Cooper has left IRL because he has left the PSN chat. So Harry Cooper possibly very upset about that penalty, but that's not news to him. The penalty was posted earlier on in the week, and Harry Cooper's been a very consistent driver, not just finishing-wise, but he's been very consistent in showing up for a lot of the races. So a little bit of rage there, but it looks like Kevin Harrison has skipped away now. Sean O'Sullivan has lost touch with him, but there's no lost touch here. Shay Fox closing in on Jack Yates. This is the battle for second. Meanwhile, we've got Jared Fosbury closing in on Luis Watsman. That's the battle for fifth. So the mid-pack battle is raging on pretty heavily here. 2nd through 7th. There's a battle just about every other car. James Yock picks up a 3-second time penalty. Steph Christensen took that corner very wide, almost clipped the wall with the left side tires. That could have been catastrophic. And Shay Fox still trying to get to the gearbox of the Alfa Romeo of Jack Yates. Meanwhile, Eric Pettington has skipped away to the tune of 2.5 seconds. Now, this does kind of give you a gauge of the F1 speed versus the F2 speed. We talked about it a little bit earlier about how Eric Pennington does have F1 speed, but he can't make the F1 races due to time constraints, so he's part-time in F2. And we see here, look at this. Steph Christensen has just closed up on Shea Fox. And just in that last sector, Jack Yates was able to gap Shea Fox by a second. Big move by Steph Christensen. And he takes the spot. Fox is coming back on the inside, though. Oh, but Christensen's going to try and sneak it in there. Good driving by those two drivers. Steph Christensen could have stuffed that in there, but he did not. He's close enough. He can use the DRS advantage. But as I was saying about Pennington and F1 speed, you can see now how closely the drivers are matched here in F2. Second, all the way back to 9th. The cars are only split by a couple of tenths. Well, I'm sorry, second back through 7th. It was only split by a couple of tenths of a second. It goes to show you how competitive the speed here is in F2. Now, if Eric Pennington could compete in F1, those drivers are somewhere around 2 to 2.5 seconds faster than the F2 guys, and then the F2 guys are somewhere about 1.5 seconds faster to 2 seconds faster than the F3 guys. So it's nice that there's a league that's got multi-tier series, and how competitive it is as we see Steph Christensen still trying to find a way around Shea Fox. Oh no! Oh no! And Steph Christensen blew that corner. Whoa, that's too bad for him. Looks like he might have had some snap oversteer, and we've got a safety car. Now, this is a part of the new update. This is a part of the update 1.20 from Codemasters, was the frequency, or I should say the infrequency, of which safety cars and virtual safety cars came out. So we've now had a wreck, safety cars out, guys are diving into the pits. They're going to make their switches. So, unbelievable. And safety car is out there. You see Eric Pennington getting called up to it. Jack Yates, they did not pit. And Shea Fox did not pit. Thomas Mumford didn't pit. That catapults him into 4th spot. James Jock up to 5th. Now, the first ones to make their stop was Luis Wasserman. He comes out in 6th. Jared Fosbury is 7th. Sean O'Sullivan stopped. He's 8th. Kevin Harrison made his stop. He's 9th. And Wei Liu made his stop. He is going to be 10th. But the safety car is going to bunch this up. So an unbelievable turn of events. And too bad for Steph Christensen. He was having such a good run. He was battling for the 3rd spot. Looks like he just had a little bit of a moment of snap oversteer and got caught out by the curb, but destroyed the left front. Now, the conspiracy theorists will be saying because it's a factory Renault car and there was a Renault leading that we've got ourselves another crash gate. I doubt that is the plan. So we wait for the remaining field to bunch up. Probably go one more lap under the safety car. And I do have to say, I commentated for SRL yesterday, and there was 2 virtual safety cars and 1 actual safety car for their race, and that was in Abu Dhabi. And I will say that I do think this is an update that this game sorely needed. Too often was there massive crashes and incidents where guys should have pitted and they didn't. So now here's an interesting strategy. Looks like everybody that didn't pit first time around is pitting now, with the exception of Thomas Mumford. Mumford has stayed out. He's now leading this race under the safety car. He will be the only driver that will not have pitted. And I got to say, this is actually some good news, I want to say, for Luis Wasserman and Jared Fosbury. This is going to shake things up definitely a little bit. Now remember, there's no overtaking under the safety car. We had that issue yesterday in SRL. And I am not sure how Codemasters has the game set up, but I know in reality you're not supposed to overtake until you get back to the start-finish line. Whether or not that rule is in effect for IRL, I don't know. I'm sure it probably is. They try to make this as realistic as possible. But you can see there behind the AMG safety car. I can hear Lewis Hamilton now complaining about how slow the car is. Tell him to speed up. Not a Lewis Hamilton fan, but I'm just saying that comes out of his mouth a lot under safety cars. But I will try to keep my biased opinion to myself. This has bunched up the field though, and no sign of the safety car going in as of yet. And there it is. Race control says the safety car is in this lap. The lights are out. So Thomas Mumford, I am sure, has not found himself in this position very often. And there's a 5-second time penalty for Sean O'Sullivan. Severe collision with Jared Fosbury under the safety car. And there is the safety car going in at the safety car line. Yellow flags are still out, still says safety car on the screen. A common cross timing and scoring, and we are back to green flag racing. And Jared Fosbury is all over Luis Wassman. Mumford was able to skip away a little bit here. Oh, double move. That was Fosbury trying to make a move on Wassman. Wassman trying to make a move on Mumford. And Sean O'Sullivan in the background just waiting for something to happen so he can capitalize on it. And Wassman to the inside. Good move, but now it's 3 wide as they head down to the next corner. Power move by Jared Fosbury. He tries to squeeze it in to get the 2-for-1 deal, but he's not going to be able to make it work. Mumford's going to get pushed wide, and we're almost 4 wide. And now Wei Liu has retired from the session. And we've got a yellow flag and set going around against Fosbury. Oh, no! Unbelievable turn of events, and Luis Wassman takes the lead. And Thomas Mumford has lost out on his lead. And Eric Pennington now, he is just overtaken Jack Yates for the 8th spot. Jared Fosbury all the way back to 10th. Unbelievable turn of events. This is not what Jared Fosbury needed. And I'm not sure what happened to Wei Liu. He retired from the session. I know that he had gone off. I don't know if it was into the wall or what had happened. Oh, and Pennington goes around the outside of James Yock. Oh, what is going on here? The cars not recognize themselves? There's O'Sullivan having some internet issues. And a 3-second time penalty for Jared Fosbury for corner cutting, multiple warnings. And Fosbury has to go into damage control once again. And currently running in the 8th spot. This is Kevin Harrison battling it out with Sean O'Sullivan. And this is Thomas Mumford in 2nd, O'Sullivan in 3rd, Harrison in 4th, and he's got Shay Fox right behind him in 5th. And a good run out of that corner by Shay Fox. He's all over the gearbox of the Alfa Romeo. He's got the slipstream. He's going to try and go around the outside, which is going to set him up. He's going to try and stuff it in there. And Shay Fox is desperately trying to find his way around. And here comes Eric Pennington. So we're about to have... Here we go. Jared Fosbury going around the outside of James Yock. So we've got second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. It's basically a 4-car battle. 1, 2, 3, 4. And there's Eric Pettington. He's closing in on that. Here goes Shay Fox. I'm sorry, O'Sullivan going around. That was O'Sullivan going around Thomas Mumford. Shay Fox here running in the 5th spot. Still trying to find a way around Kevin Harrison. And now Harrison finds himself in the middle of a Red Bull sandwich, and he's the meat. Now, I gotta say, Thomas Mumford's actually holding his own a little bit. He hasn't pitted. He's on worn softs. Everybody else on much fresher tires. Been able to hold his own up here with the big guys for a little bit. So he's shown he's got some speed. And Shay Fox just picked up a 3-second time penalty. And Shay Fox, he was desperate to get around Kevin Harrison because here comes Eric Pettington. And now it's a 4-car battle for the 3rd spot as O'Sullivan has pulled away to almost 2 seconds. It looks like we've got some internet problems with some of these drivers. And to the inside, Harrison. Oh, but here comes Pettington. Oh, it's all over the place. This 4-car battle, something is going to happen. It's going to end in tears for somebody. Harrison manages to skip through Thomas Mumford. Mumford should let his teammate go by. And Shay Fox is going to be able to get around his teammate with the DRS advantage. Wade Liu has officially left the session. Here comes, what is going on with this? I'm not the only one that's seeing the cars jump around, right? So Eric Pettington's able to make the move on Thomas Mumford, so Mumford has now fallen back into 6th. While all this is happening, Luis Wassman is leading the way 2 seconds ahead of Sean O'Sullivan in the Haas. The real battle is back here, 3rd, 4th, and 5th now. These are some of the heavy hitters now. This is Kevin Harrison running in 3rd, followed by Shay Fox, who's got a 3-second time penalty, followed by Eric Pettington. And Fox is in the Red Bull. Somebody's got some crazy internet. There's a lot of cars jumping around the track, very glitchy. It looks like our live chat has been disconnected for some reason. I'm not 100% sure why, as we see Fox trying to go around, or Harrison trying to go around Fox. Or is it the other way around? I'm trying to keep up with everything on track and my news and notes as well. 3-car battle continues. Shay Fox is going to be under threat now. DRS slot open. To the inside goes Harrison. Eric Pettington's going to try and do this. Oh, look at that. That's a huge corner cut by Shay Fox. No wonder you've got 3-second time penalty, sir. Fox is about to lose out on another position to Eric Pettington, so he drops to 5th now. And now that that's settled, Jared Fosbury is trying to find his way around Thomas Mumford. Doesn't look like Fox is done with this battle, though. He wants to try and get back in it. Pettington down the dogleg backstretch, got the DRS slot over, trying to close in on Harrison for the 3rd spot. And this 3-car battle is actually closing in on O'Sullivan. And O'Sullivan is actually closing in a little bit onto Luis Wassman. It was 2.4 seconds a couple laps ago. It's now down to 2 seconds. So Eric Pettington looks like he's going to try and make quick work of Kevin Harrison here on the front straightaway. Here the DRS slot's going to be open. Not close enough to make a move yet. Can he get there in time? It doesn't look like he's going to be able to. Pokes his nose out very late on the brakes, blows the corner, and wisely gives it back. Meanwhile, that lets Shay Fox close in that gap, but Pettington's not done. Trying to come back to snatch that third spot away from Harrison. And Harrison is almost caught to the backside of the Haas. We've got a 4-car battle materializing now for the second spot. And we are almost halfway through this 50% race. It's been very exciting so far. Actually, pretty much are halfway through. Lap 13 of 27. All these DRS slots open on these cars now. The front straightaway is going to be fun to watch as these guys really get up to each other's gearboxes now. Man, it would be nice if actual F1 was this close in its racing. This is some really good racing from these guys. 4-car battle going on for the second spot. Second, third, fourth, and fifth. Harrison's going to be looking to make a move on O'Sullivan as they head down into turn 1 to the inside. It's going to be very tight getting in there. He's able to make it work, but O'Sullivan comes back, and now Eric Pettington looked like he was going to try and sneak up the inside. And now Harrison's got the more preferred line heading into the next corner. They're side by side as they come out of it. Pettington's trying to get in the middle. It's almost 3 wide. Harrison can't make it work. Here comes Pettington to the outside. Shay Fox is just biding his time in the back, waiting to see if something's going to happen between these 3 cars. And they're still side by side as they head through the next right-hander. O'Sullivan's got the more preferred line heading into the next left-hander. And it's back and forth. And Thomas Mumford just picked up a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. He's battling it out with Jack Yates for the 8th spot. And look at this 4-car battle down the backstretch. What is going to happen here? 4 wide, look at that shot. And Shay Fox trying to take it all the way to the inside. He's able to get inside of Harrison and Pettington. And there's a little bit of contact. Harrison comes back. He's going to be able to retake the spot. And somehow, through all that, Eric Pettington's able to push O'Sullivan wide, but he's almost lost the back end. And around the outside goes O'Sullivan. Fox picks up a spot. And these 4 cars, unbelievable racing between these guys. Here comes Harrison now. Harrison falling back into 5th. Sean O'Sullivan into 3rd, and now the DRS slot will be open again. Kevin Harrison just picked up a 3-second time penalty, and Jared Fosbury is sitting there in 6th. And he's hoping all 4 of these cars crash out so he can capitalize on this madness that is going on around this track right now. Fox to the inside of O'Sullivan now. The battle for 3rd is their side-by-side. Pettington's able to skip away a little bit. And O'Sullivan's got a good run coming out of the 1-2 complex, and round turn 3 is able to hold off Shay Fox. Kevin Harrison back into 5th. Eric Pettington able to finally put some car lengths between him and that crazy battle. What an unbelievable lap that was from all 4 of these drivers. While that was happening, Luis Wassman capitalized on that, stretched his lead out to 3.6 seconds, but Eric Pettington is coming. So while we catch a breather, it is now a 3-car battle for the 3rd spot. It is Sean O'Sullivan, followed by Shay Fox, followed by Kevin Harrison. And here goes Fox to the inside. DRS slot open. Great move by Shay Fox. O'Sullivan's not going to be close enough to make a move. And now can Shay Fox, can he close the gap into Eric Pettington? He wasn't able to do it last week at Baku, but might have better luck this week here at Sochi. And James Yachts has picked up a 3-second time penalty. That's going to be inconsequential, though. He's currently running in the 9th spot, 15 seconds behind Thomas Mumford. Mumford's battling it out with Jack Yates still for that 7th spot now. And Kevin Harrison is going to be all over the backside of O'Sullivan. They've both got the DRS advantage. He's not going to be close enough to make a move. Now, O'Sullivan's been getting some good runs coming out of that 1-2 complex, but this time it's Kevin Harrison who gets the good run coming out of there. Talk about massive lateral loads on those right side tires and that big sweeping left-hander of turn 3. And O'Sullivan goes very wide coming out of that corner. Shea Fox wide coming out of that corner. We ride along with Kevin Harrison. That is a hard downshift into third there. And Shea Fox just picked up a 3-second time penalty. I believe that is his second one, so time penalties are going to be a factor after the end of this. And O'Sullivan now all over the gearbox of Shea Fox. Fox is going to be disappointed with himself with them time penalties. Six-second worth of penalties. That would immediately drop him from third all the way to sixth. And 10 laps to go in what has been a really incredible race so far. James Jock picked up another 3-second time penalty. Again, inconsequential. Sean O'Sullivan to the inside of Fox. He's got the DRS advantage. He's going to be able to make that move easily. Oh, but look at this. Fox swings back to the inside. I don't want to see that. That's the view we want to see. Side-by-side action as he heads into the next corner. Fox is going to try the crossover move. He's not going to be able to make it stick. Ooh, he pokes his head out. He's coming down a drag race to the next corner. Not close enough to make it work. It's a good run coming out of there, and meanwhile, this three-car battle continues. Jared Fosbury still closing in on this. Kevin Harrison going to look and try to make his way around Fox now. And nose to tail, you can throw a blanket over these three guys. Thomas Mumford just picked up another 3-second time penalty. He's still battling it out with Jack Yates for the 7th spot. And Shea Fox, he's got the DRS slot open to the inside. He's able to make that move again on O'Sullivan. Cuts across his nose. And now Jared Fosbury has joined this battle. It is now a 4-car battle for the 3rd spot. And we saw what a 4-car battle looks like a couple laps ago when it was Eric Penton involved, but now we've got Jared Fosbury and Kevin Harrison nose to tail. Championship points battle going on. And Jared Fosbury needs to be very cautious about how he wants to make this move. Swings it way out wide. Just putting his nose in the mirror. Meanwhile, Sean O'Sullivan side by side still with Shea Fox, and now side by side Jared Fosbury and Kevin Harrison. O'Sullivan goes to the inside. Fox gets a great run coming out of that corner. He's going to drag race him down to the next one. He's got the inside line heading into the right-hander. Oh, but look at this. O'Sullivan's able to make it work on the outside and retain that position. And Jim Crunchy just ran the fastest lap of this race at a 1:35.298. And unfortunately, while this 4-car battle's been going on, Eric Penton has been closing the gap down to Luis Wassman for the lead of this race. Wassman's lead is now cut down to 1.2 seconds. We see Shea Fox once again with the DRS slot open, taking that inside line and trying to sweep to the outside. O'Sullivan tries to cut in line, pick up a little bit of that slipstream. And Harrison and Fosbury still in the back. These two have swapped positions now. O'Sullivan and Fox have swapped positions now just about every single lap. Harrison and Fosbury both kind of sitting idly in 5th and 6th. Now Fox is able to put some car lengths between him and O'Sullivan. And Fosbury with a good run out of that last corner. And O'Sullivan tries to pull out. Not close enough to make it work. Fosbury now trying to see if he can make a move on Harrison. Not going to pull out this time. Meanwhile, O'Sullivan trying to get his way back in front of Shea Fox. This has been some incredible racing between these guys, and Jared Fosbury just picked up a 3-second time penalty. Don't know how that's going to affect him in the standings, because I don't know who all's got how many penalties at this point. I know Fox has 2, and we know Fosbury now at least has 1. Meanwhile, while all this is going on, Eric Pettington now has that gap to under a second to Luis Wassman. Wassman still trying to hold his own. As we continue to watch this 4-car battle. James Jacques picks up another 3-second time penalty. Oh, we just missed what's going on. Oh, so much action on track. Fosbury. Looks like Harrison was able to get around Sean O'Sullivan. Fosbury now losing some ground to his championship rival. Meanwhile, Eric Pettington is closed up. He's on the gearbox of the Racing Point of Luis Wassman, sweeping around the left-hander of turn 3. And Fosbury just made the move on O'Sullivan, but O'Sullivan's trying to come back. Trying to keep up with everything that's going on track here. And the racing has been incredible. Props to Luis Wassman. He has held his own out in front for an extended period of time. And right now, he's not going to make life easy for Eric Pettington. Pettington is now closed up. Looks like he's going to bide his time until they get back to the start-finish line. Now, in the front stretch, he'll have the DRS advantage. Meanwhile, we've got this side-by-side battle. This is Jared Fosbury and Kevin Harrison. Fosbury does get to the inside of Harrison. They make a little bit of contact wheel to wheel. Fosbury's on the inside. Now Harrison's on the inside as they switch back. Fosbury unable to make it stick. And now Eric Pettington. You see Luis Wassman trying to take away that defensive line all the way to the inside up against the wall. Here comes Pettington. He's going to have a head of steam coming down towards turn 1. Swings it to the inside. Oh, and he makes a little bit of contact with Wassman. Oh, and Wassman makes contact with Eric Pettington. And that is really unfortunate for Luis Wassman. That is the bad luck we've been talking about all season with Luis Wassman. He is going to be forced to pit. That is too bad for him. And now the 4-car battle becomes a 4-car battle for the second spot. And a yellow flag. That is Eric Pettington losing a spot. I wonder if he was giving it back to Wassman or if Wassman was doing some retaliatory actions there. Now, I thought Pettington was a little too far back to try and make a dive bomb move, but it is what it is at this point. Looks like he's coming back on Luis Wassman. Now, Wassman's going to have that loss of front-end grip because of the damage he's got on the end plate. He's trying to hang tough with him, but he's not going to be able to get the car to turn. And Eric Pettington's going to take the lead. Meanwhile, we've got this 4-car battle going on here that just won't quit. Kevin Harrison now running in 3rd. Shea Fox is in 4th. Jared Fosbury is in 5th. And Sean O'Sullivan is in 6th. And it looks like Luis Wassman has stayed out, and I don't know if that's a good call by him or not. He should probably just cut his losses at this point. Chances are he's going to end up finishing in the 6th spot regardless. He's got enough of a gap that he could pit and come back out and still hang on to that 6th spot. It is really unfortunate for Luis Wassman. He had a really good run going. Don't know if he'll report that incident at the end of this race or if the stewards will take a look at it, but really unfortunate turn of events for Luis Wassman. Had a really good run going. But if I was Wassman, I would pit, throw on a set of softs, put on a new front wing. You're going to come out in 6th. And maybe you can run the fastest lap, pick up the bonus point. Damage control, damage control. Meanwhile, things have settled for just a second here for this 4-car battle, but the problem is that they are creeping up onto the backside of Luis Wassman, and Wassman with that front-end downforce gone at this point. How long is he willing to stay out? Because this 4-car battle could quite easily turn into a 5-car battle, and that could also quite easily turn into a 5-car pile-up. We see Fox dives to the inside. Good clean run out of that corner. Tries to go around the outside of Harrison. Harrison puts the wheels on the grass, and all the way to the outside goes Fox. Great power move on the outside by Shea Fox to take away that 3rd spot. And now he sets his sights on Luis Wassman. Wassman still not heading into the pits. There you see Eric Pettington up in the foreground there, going around that first dog leg. And now we've got 5-car battle. Shea Fox has got his DRS slot open. And Wassman is going to try and defend. I admire this guy's guts, man, but he's going to lose out on that. So Shea Fox is able to overtake. Oh, no, and Wassman goes very wide because of the downforce loss. Harrison's going to try and make that move now to the inside. Wassman, again, going to have to go very wide, coming back across the track. That's very close to cutting the wall. And now Jared Fosbury to the inside. And now Sean O'Sullivan's going to be next. And a 3-second time penalty for Jared Fosbury. And there we see Luis Wassman goes very wide coming out of that corner. And O'Sullivan's going to try and go around the outside. Oh, and a little bit of argy-bargy there, side by side. Looks like they're trying to side draft off of each other. Some NASCAR-style stuff with Wassman. He's got no front grip. You can hear the car chattering over those curbs. And this is not what Wassman wants. Well, actually, it's not what Wassman wants. This is not what O'Sullivan wants, because O'Sullivan's getting held up now by Luis Wassman. Wassman's got no front wing. Meanwhile, this group is pulled away. This is Kevin Harrison. It's Shea Fox, Kevin Harrison, and Jared Fosbury battling it out for the 2nd spot. 3 laps to go. O'Sullivan should be able to get around Luis Wassman at this point. And there you see he dives to the inside. Meanwhile, the battle at the front. Oh, and Harrison cuts the corner, rejoins the track in the correct manner. Oh, and it's very tight coming through there, turn 3. And around the outside, but Fox isn't going to let him have it that easily. Oh, they make a little bit of contact, and another 3-second time penalty by Shea Fox. Jared Fosbury now trying to go around the outside. Oh, and they make a little bit of contact. That's very close. Fosbury almost loses the car. Manages to cut back in front of Shea Fox, and now Shea Fox is falling back into 4th. And Jared Fosbury trying to get in front of his championship rival Kevin Harrison. But there's time penalties galore at the end of this race that will be assessed. And it is going to change the running order, especially if they finish the way they're finishing now. Swings it to the outside. Hard on the brakes, into the inside. And Fosbury could have really stuffed it in there. Thinks better twice of it. Almost locks up the front end. Be 3 laps to go this time by. And this has just been a ridiculous race. Here comes Fosbury. DRS slot open, swings it to the inside. He's going to be able to take that position easily this time, but Harrison's going to try and come back, cuts the corner a little bit. Here comes Fox. He's going to have double slipstream advantage. Doesn't want to get too crazy with it. And a great run coming out of that corner. Thomas Mumford picks up a 3-second time penalty. Him and James Yock both have multiple time penalties. It'll be interesting to see who finishes 8th and 9th in that time battle at this point. And there's a 5.5 second gap from Mumford all the way back to James Yock, but they both have multiple time penalties. And while these three are battling it out, Sean O'Sullivan's been able to try and close that gap down to him. He's almost within DRS range. O'Sullivan to the inside. Fosbury's going to have the more preferred line coming out of that dog leg, but hard on the brakes. O'Sullivan's going to go to the, Spock's to the outside. Getting everything mixed up in my head. Too many cars, too many colors. And Fosbury so badly wants to get to the gearbox of Kevin Harrison's Alfa Romeo. And Eric Pettington has started the penultimate lap of this race. Nobody close enough to make a move. Jared Fosbury still trying and close that gap. He's a couple of car lengths. Yellow flag sector 3. Oh, it's James Yock. He's crashed out of the race on lap 26. It's unfortunate for him. So here we go through that dog leg and into the chicane. Just making a quick note of James Yock there. Not sure if he'll get credited for points. Came home 9th. Same thing with Wei Lu, but Wei Lu crashed out way earlier on in this race. So Eric Pettington has started this final lap. He's 6 seconds ahead of this battle, this 3-car battle. Jared Fosbury just picked up another 3-second time penalty. At this point, I think it's safe to say that Jared Fosbury is probably going to finish in the 5th spot. To the inside, Fosbury tries to make the move on Harrison. He knows he's not going to finish where he comes across the line, but he still wants to try and beat him on track. Shea Fox gets a good run coming out of that corner. Last little bit of real estate here. This is going to be last DRS zone, and to the outside goes Fosbury, which will put him on the inside, nearly side by side with him. He's able to take the spot, and he gets around Harrison on track, and now Harrison looks like he's going to have to battle it out with Shea Fox. Fox is able to take the position. Harrison back to the inside. Fox tries to put the power down. This is kind of what Fosbury needed. Fosbury knows he's going to lose a spot or two because of time penalties. Eric Pettington is your winner, but this is the race to the line. And Fosbury's going to come across second, but because of time penalties, it's going to get switched up here. And Kevin Harrison gets credited for second spot after all that. Unbelievable race. Jack Yates is out on hard tires. He is very far behind that battle. Not the day Jack Yates was looking for. I don't think he's a fan of this track. He'll come across in the 7th spot. And Thomas Mumford will round out the 8 remaining drivers of this race. What an unbelievable run to the finish for those top 3 drivers. And Jared Fosbury saying that the Jared Fosbury explaining his time penalties there in the system. And here we've got the top 3 drivers, and I'm sure all those time penalties would be looked at the end of this race. But Eric Pettington picking up his 6th win of the season. He's definitely keeping things interesting. So here is the unofficial results as of now. This is Eric Pettington with his 5th win. Kevin Harrison comes home with another podium finish. And that is 3 in a row for Shea Fox now as he comes home 3rd. Sean O'Sullivan comes home 4th. Luis Wassman, despite his wing damage, he comes home 5th. Jared Fosbury drops all the way to 6th because of time penalties. Jack Yates is 7th. Thomas Mumford is 8th. James Yock is 9th. Wei Liu will be credited with 10th. And Steph Christensen will be credited with 11th. Harry Cooper did not participate in the race. So that is your 11 drivers for today's race. What a run to the finish. And I'm going to try and get... Eric Pettington, Kevin Harrison, and Shea Fox in here for some quick interviews. So hang tight. So let's see if we can get them in here real quick. Unbelievable run to the finish there for everybody. There's Eric. And I am not 100% sure that I am friends with anybody else. Oh, we'll get Jared Fosbury in here. And see if he can't get the other guys in here. But we'll get Eric Pettington in here. And maybe talk to him. A little bit of controversy there with his finish. I'm sure there's going to be some, possibly some review of his incident with Luis Wassman for the lead. So, and we do have Eric Pettington joining us. Congratulations on what is, for now, another win. Part-time driver with 6 wins to his credit so far in the unofficial results. Eric, how would you describe that race? I mean, safety car looks like it might have called you out there for a hot second. You got caught up in the mid-pack battle. And then there was a little bit of an incident there with Luis Wassman as you were trying to pass him for the lead.
Yeah, nothing much to say. The safety car messed things up a lot. Got a 5-second stop-and-go penalty because of that. But yeah, when we pitted, safety car ended. Nice battles, but that incident with Luis, I don't know, did it turn in or did my front wing hit his back tires and he spun? I didn't know who was the fault, but to make sure it was going to be a fair fight, I slowed down and let him go. But of course, him having the front wing damage, it's he lost a lot of time because of that. And yeah, but it's racing. It happens. Yeah, nothing much to say. It's racing. I was faster, I overtook him, I won. I raced, I won. That's it.
Well, that makes it 6 wins so far for you this year, even though you are a part-time driver. I mean, is it fair to say that because of your speed, you do have a little bit of an unfair advantage over the rest of these drivers?
Yeah, they need to train harder then. It's plain and simple, I don't know what to say. They train harder, practice every day, 2-3 hours, and then we'll have fights. I don't know what to say to that question. That's a very hard question you asked me, but it's not my fault. Like, if they can't, not gonna say it to the end, but yeah, I'm just doing my job, taking the wins.
3 races left on the calendar, Hungary, Germany, and Brazil. You're gonna be able to make all 3 of those races? I mean, you are part-time, and what's your schedule looking like moving forward?
Well, it's basketball moved in Sunday. It's 2 p.m. now, and races of 6 p.m. So I should be making all 3 races now till the end of the season, and I hope I could challenge for maybe the 3rd place in the championship. Maybe if these guys keep crashing to each other, something I could take easy top 3 and enjoy that champagne in the end of the season. But yeah.
Well, very good. We're going to try and get the other drivers in here. I do not. Would have been Kevin Harrison and Shay Fox, or Fishy as he goes by. I don't think I have either one, unfortunately. There we go. There we go. Now we're going to get Harrison in here, championship points leader, and Shay Fox coming off of another podium finish. That is 3 podiums in a row for him, and I would love to talk to them about the unbelievable 4-way battle that participated in most of this race. We've got Kevin Harrison joining us now, championship points leader with another podium finish. Once again, Kevin, you started in the back and find yourself towards the front. Pretty epic race, a lot of battling going on there for 2nd through 4th. Way to keep it together through all that racing.
Yeah, it was very stressful. I mean, I had like 3 people constantly behind me, and all 3 of them wanted to overtake me. And yeah, like I'd get overtaken, and then I'd re-overtake, and then I'd get overtaken, go down to 5th, go back up to 2nd, and it was quite hectic.
Now, as you seem to have a knack for qualifying somewhere in the back and then working your way forward. Is that a normal strategy of yours, or is you just have a hard time finding the qualifying setup versus a race setup?
Usually, I intend to qualify a bit further back. Like I usually go on the middle tire, but with the new update, I know that safety cars are very common, and they come out more so when they're meant to. So I purposely went on the softs, and I expected to, like, if I could have got my lap together, I know I could have been 3rd at least. But I got wing damage on my outlap, and after that I barely improved. So my lap just wasn't really good.
And moving forward, we got 3 rounds left this season. We've got Hungary, Germany, and Brazil. I mean, do you think you'll be able to keep this points lead and take it all the way to the end, or are we feeling any pressure from Jared Fosbury or Jack Yates, your 2 championship contenders?
Well, I mean, Jack kind of took a big hit today because he finished quite low down. I'm pretty sure he got involved in quite a few incidents, so that's unfortunate for him. But I mean, Jared's is still there, and it's not won till it's won. And looking at today's race, if he can keep putting in things like that, and maybe if I get into some bad luck, I mean, it can obviously happen, then it could be closer. But obviously I'm looking to hopefully wrap it up next week. I'm pretty sure I can now, I'm not sure though. I think I can wrap it up next week. But it's kind of...
Well, with that being said, you did speak of Jack Yates. He did have a poor performance today, and it will give quite a separation between Jared Fosbury and Jack Yates now. Will there be any team orders between you guys at Alfa Romeo with Jack Yates essentially not really being a part of that championship battle at this point?
I'm not really sure. We'll probably talk about it. But I'd say unless he's completely out of the championship, then he's going to keep fighting to the end. So, yeah, I'd say we'll have a chat, but I'm not sure.
It'll certainly be interesting to see as the next few weeks unfold. And we also have Shay Fox with us, the third podium in a row. Congratulations to Fox. Pretty hectic day. We had an epic 4-car battle for what was most of the race, and Kevin Harrison had already spoken a little bit about that. But how did that go for you? I mean, you qualified relatively well. You started where you finished where you started. So good effort today on your part. How would you describe your race?
Kind didn't feel like really crazy, but it was. It just kind of felt like I was driving around with more cars around me. But you know, it was fun battling everyone the whole race, but I'm just happy to be on the podium in the end.
That is 3 in a row. Do you think you can keep that streak going as we wind this season down over the next 3 races?
I'm gonna try, but I'm not sure.
We've got Hungary, Germany, and Brazil left. Are those relatively good tracks for you? Or are they a little tougher for you on your part?
I think Hungary I might struggle with, but the other 2 I'm pretty good at.
Hungary is it's not a very good track for anybody. It's just not a good track. Of course, neither is Sochi, but
Hungary is good. It's good.
Sochi was not a good track either, but the action today was quite epic. And I think Jared is still in here. Jared, do you want to say anything about today's race? I mean, I know you said some stuff on the live chat about some of the time penalties.
Yeah, Sean just rear-ended me under the safety car when it was going, and I get a penalty, which he hit me, so in theory I shouldn't get the penalty, but I got that 5 second, and then I got a stupid 5 second apparently exceeding track limits when I clearly didn't under the safety car. It's just silly how the safety car's been updated. And then I was just getting stupid 3 second pens. And then I had contact with Louis, and if I didn't have any contact with Louis, I could have possibly battled with Eric, and I possibly could have been further in the standings if the penalties applied. But because I was caught up with a battle with Kevin, Fishy of course, and I believe Sean.
Yeah, you guys had some really hard racing there, especially in the middle of the race when Eric was a part of it as well. The 4 or 5 car battle going on. I will say some really good racing by you guys today. I mean, you all were entangled in a 4-car battle that could have ended in tears for anybody, and everybody managed to escape it fairly cleanly. So props to everybody on that. I mean, moving forward, Jared, I mean, you're still in contention for the championship. I mean, these next 3 races are going to be crucial. Are these good tracks for you, or are they bad tracks?
Well, it depends how people drive. If they're going to do silly moves like that on me and spin me out, and with Eric's obliterating F1 pace, it's basically impossible now for me to even have a chance against Kevin. Me and Jack are basically out with the way it's going, so I'm basically going to just congratulate Kevin already, because it's just at the moment just BS with everything else going on right now. So that's, as you can tell, I'm annoyed, so I haven't really got really much to say.
Some very choice words from Jared Fosbury, unfortunately for him. Taking a little bit of a hit today in the point standings. Harrison with the 2nd place finish, and as of right now, a 6th win of the season for Eric Pentington. So, unbelievable race today, guys. Going to try and wrap it up here. I want to say congratulations to all 3 drivers and Jared Fosbury. I want to thank him for being a part of the interview. It's obviously not a very talkative mood, but catch us again next week when we move to round 19 at Hungary. That'll be February 9th, 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment to the IRL YouTube channel, and check out their F1 and F3 videos as well. You can also like us on Twitter. It is Twitter, right, Jared?
Yeah, you can follow us on, I believe, at F1 IRL. I believe it's something like that in the code.
Yes, at F1_IRL. That's on Twitter. Be sure to like us there as well, and be sure to check us out moving forward. Going to have quite an epic battle coming down to the wire, it might be. Jared's already congratulated Kevin, but that remains to be seen. You never know what can happen. It ain't over until the fat lady sings, so stay tuned to find out, and catch us next week. We'll see you at the next round.